You think your depression, your anxiety, and your lack of confidence stem entirely from a psychological defect. You believe you can think your way out of a rut. You are wrong. Your brain functions as a chemical factory, and right now, your physical posture sends a direct signal to that factory to halt production of the very chemicals you need to feel brave. This is not some modern self-help jargon. This represents a 500-million-year-old biological mandate. If you want to change your mind, you must begin by weaponizing your biology. Module 1. The biology of posture and confidence. Look around any public space today. Observe the physical state of the modern human. Shoulders rolled forward, chest caved inward, the neck bent toward a glowing screen, lungs compressed, forcing shallow, panicked breaths from the top of the chest. This posture does not just result from fatigue. It is a physical manifestation of defeat. When your body assumes this shape, your nervous system registers surrender. To understand this mechanism, we must look backward, 500 million years backward. Evolutionary biologists point to the lobster. Humans and lobsters share a common evolutionary ancestor from 500 million years ago, and we still share the exact same neurological hardware for processing status and defeat. When lobsters fight over territory, the winner stretches out, raises its claws, and expands its physical footprint. The loser shrinks, curls inward, and flees. The chemical driving this transformation is serotonin. A lobster flush with serotonin responds to a challenge with a rigid, dominant posture, but a low serotonin lobster submits. When a dominant lobster loses a battle, its brain chemistry alters. Its serotonin levels plummet. It loses the will to fight, even against smaller, weaker opponents it previously defeated. The biological programming dictates that a loser must shrink to avoid attracting the attention of predators and dominant rivals. This mechanism remains so entrenched in our shared DNA that scientists can inject human antidepressants into defeated, timid lobsters, and those lobsters will stretch out and fight again. When you slump, slouch, and cast your eyes to the floor, you send a signal to your own ancient neurological circuits. You tell your brain that you lost the battle. Your brain responds by restricting your serotonin production, increasing your sensitivity to negative emotion, and priming your body for threat. The world appears hostile. Obstacles look insurmountable. Your own body betrays you. The solution requires physical intervention before psychological intervention. You must command your physical vessel. Stand up straight. Pull your shoulders back. Expand your chest. Take up space. Plant your feet firm on the earth. Look forward. This physical action forces the biological circuits to recalibrate. It signals to your nervous system that you occupy a space of competence and readiness. You command respect from others, but more importantly, you command respect from your own neurochemistry. But fixing your posture is only the first step, because once your biology is aligned, you have to confront a much darker reality. The fact that you treat a stray animal on the street with more respect than you treat yourself. And the statistics behind this phenomenon are nothing short of terrifying. Module 2. The self-care hypocrisy. Picture a Tuesday morning. The alarm rings. You smash the snooze button, dragging your exhausted body out of bed 30 minutes late. You skip breakfast. You ignore the nagging pain in your lower back. You look at the prescription bottle sitting on the counter, medicine your doctor insisted you take for your blood pressure, and you walk right past it. Now, picture a different scenario. Your dog develops a limp and refuses to eat. Within minutes, you place the dog in the car. You speed to the veterinarian. You drain your savings account for the diagnosis. The vet prescribes a foul-tasting pill that the dog despises. Yet, every 12 hours, without fail, you pry the dog's mouth open, place the pill inside, and rub its throat to ensure the medicine goes down. You never miss a dose. The data confirms this bizarre paradox. Medication non-compliance remains a massive crisis in human healthcare. In clinical trials, up to 30% of studies fail completely because human patients refuse to follow basic instructions and take their prescribed doses. We sabotage our own health with staggering consistency. Yet, the same humans execute complex, expensive, and frustrating care routines for their pets without a second thought. Why does this discrepancy exist? The answer lies in self-perception. We view the dog as an innocent creature, devoid of malice, acting only on instinct. The dog deserves care. But you know yourself. You know your own deceit. You know every lie you ever told, every promise you broke, every cowardly decision you made when no one else was watching. You harbor a deep, subconscious self-loathing. You view yourself as a flawed, guilty creature, and on a fundamental level, you do not believe you deserve the effort of salvation. This internal tyranny manifests in self-neglect, a sink overflowing with dishes, a diet consisting of processed garbage, a life devoid of boundaries. You act as a slave to your own worst impulses. To survive, you must engineer a psychological schism. You must detach from your own identity and view yourself as a stranger. Rule 2 demands that you treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. If a dear friend came to you, exhausted, sick, and defeated, you would not mock them. You would cook them a meal. You would demand they rest. You would force them to take their medicine. You must extend that exact same objective compassion to your own existence. Negotiate with yourself as a manager negotiates with a valued employee. Ask yourself, what small thing could I do today that would make tomorrow slightly better? Then perform that action. Learning to care for yourself is a massive battle, but all that internal work collapses in an instant if you allow the wrong people into your inner circle. There is a silent, physiological contagion spreading through your social network right now, and you might be infected without even realizing it. Module 3, the danger of toxic companionship. A notification illuminates your phone screen. You see a specific name. Before you even unlock the device, a knot forms in your stomach. Your jaw clenches tight. Your chest tightens, restricting your breath. This person wants to meet for coffee. You know exactly how the interaction will unfold. They will complain about their boss, their partner, and their unending stream of self-inflicted crises. When you share a recent victory of your own, they will deploy a subtle, backhanded compliment to cut you down to size. You will leave the coffee shop feeling drained, cynical, and exhausted. This is the physical manifestation of toxic companionship. It is not just an emotional drain, it is a physiological assault. Research reveals that toxic friendships cultivate a constant state of chronic stress and anxiety, keeping your body trapped in hypervigilance. The unpredictable nature of a manipulative friend triggers your fight or flight response. The absence of genuine social support makes individuals highly susceptible to severe anxiety and depression. Your nervous system treats a toxic friend the same way it treats a predator. Yet, you stay. You endure the abuse. Why? People often mask cowardice with the veneer of loyalty. You tell yourself you can fix them. You believe that abandoning a struggling friend constitutes a moral failure. But you are not pulling them up from the abyss. They are pulling you down. Misery demands company. A person committed to their own destruction resents the sight of someone striving for upward momentum. Your pursuit of competence acts as a mirror, reflecting their own failures back at them. To eliminate the painful reflection, they must shatter the mirror. They must pull you back into the mud. You have no moral obligation to support someone who actively works to destroy you. You must ruthlessly audit your social circle. Make friends with people who want the best for you. This is not a selfish directive. It is a mandate for survival. A true friend celebrates your victories, amplifying your joy. A true friend also possesses the courage to tell you the painful truth when you act like a fool. They demand your best, and they refuse to tolerate your mediocrity. Pruning your social circle protects your boundaries. But building an impenetrable fortress around your mind requires a weapon most people are too terrified to wield. We think we are protecting ourselves by bending reality, but the medical data proves that this specific habit is literally destroying our nervous systems from the inside out. Module 4. The chaos of deception and imprecision. The boss asks for a progress report on a delayed project. A partner asks a pointed question about a past relationship. The truth feels dangerous. It carries the threat of immediate conflict. The throat tightens. The vocal cords constrict. The brain calculates the easiest escape route, and a half-truth slips from your lips. The tension in the room dissipates. You feel a momentary rush of relief. You survived the encounter. But the body keeps an exact tally of your deceptions. Studies reveal that the average person tells between 0 and 2 lies per day. Many of these are categorized as white lies, designed to maintain social harmony. However, your biology cannot distinguish between a polite fiction and a massive fraud. Lying triggers a vicious physiological cascade. The act of deception forces the release of stress hormones, increasing the heart rate and driving up blood pressure. The brain activates the HPA axis, pumping cortisol into the bloodstream, which leads to chronic headaches, persistent fatigue, severe insomnia, and a compromised immune system. Every time you bend reality to avoid conflict, you poison your own physical vessel. Beyond the biological damage, lying disintegrates your psychological foundation. Reality is a complex structure. When you state the truth, you align yourself with that structure. When you lie, you introduce a fatal flaw into the architecture. One lie demands a second lie to cover the first. You must fragment your personality, wearing one mask for your boss, another for your spouse, and another for your parents. The mental bandwidth required to maintain these contradictory realities exhausts the mind. Eventually, the structure collapses, dragging you into absolute chaos. The antidote is terrifying but necessary. Tell the truth. Or, at least, stop lying. Stop saying things that make you feel weak. Stop agreeing to things you despise. When you tell the truth, you let the deadwood in your life burn away. Yes, the truth might cost you a job, a relationship, or a comfortable illusion, but a structure built on truth can withstand a hurricane. A structure built on lies collapses in a light breeze. Furthermore, you must become precise in your speech. Vague problems cause infinite terror. If you feel a pain in your side, the ambiguity allows your mind to conjure images of terminal illness. When you go to the doctor and receive an exact diagnosis, the terror shrinks into a manageable problem. You must name the monsters in your life. Confront the chaotic fog of your reality and slice it into distinct, actionable pieces using precise language. Stopping the lies brings clarity. It stops the cortisol spikes. But what do you do with that clarity? When the fog clears, you are left staring at the ultimate human dilemma, the terrifying chasm between a life of easy comfort and a life that actually matters. Module 5. The courage to embrace. Meaning over comfort. It is 2 a.m. You stare at a glowing screen, scrolling past images of strangers. A half-eaten bag of junk food sits on the couch. You feel a hollow ache in your gut, an emptiness that sleep will not cure. You spent the entire day avoiding difficulty. You took the path of least resistance. You sought the expedient. Expediency is the pursuit of immediate gratification. It demands no sacrifice. It requires no discipline. It offers a cheap, momentary distraction from the burden of existence. The modern world is engineered to feed this addiction. You can summon food, entertainment, and validation with the tap of a finger. But this endless consumption leaves the soul starving. The fundamental baseline of human existence involves suffering. Disease, betrayal, aging, and death represent unavoidable realities. When tragedy strikes, when a parent falls ill, when a career evaporates, when a relationship shatters, the expedient offers no armor. The memory of a video game or a cheap thrill provides zero comfort in the waiting room of a hospital. If you build your life around avoiding pain and seeking pleasure, the arrival of inevitable tragedy will crush you into dust. You need a fortress to withstand the storm. That fortress is meaning. Meaning is not a fleeting emotional state. It is a physical sensation of deep, unshakable alignment. It manifests as a sturdy spine, a focused gaze, a calloused hand. Meaning is found on the border between order and chaos. It requires you to look at the suffering in the world, look at your own profound inadequacies, and decide to shoulder a heavy burden anyway. Rule 7 dictates that you must pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Meaning requires sacrifice. It requires delaying gratification. It requires looking at a difficult problem, stepping forward and saying, "I will take responsibility for this." When you adopt a heavy load, you discover a reserve of strength you never knew you possessed. The hollow ache of expediency is replaced by the solid weight of purpose. You are a creature built for struggle. You are designed to confront the unknown and carve order out of chaos. Stop aiming for a life of easy comfort. It is a trap. Aim for a life that requires you to become a formidable force. Aim for a life where your presence makes the surrounding environment stronger, safer, and better. Embracing meaning over comfort forces you to confront the pain of existence, but it is not the only framework for deciding what matters. To master the psychological filtering of pain and prioritize your focus, click the video on your screen for The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Mark Manson. Embracing meaning over comfort forces you to confront the pain of existence, but it is not the only framework for deciding what matters. To master the psychological filtering of pain and aggressively prioritize your focus, click the video on your screen for The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.